Babylon was not just a city. It was a fortress the world believed could never fall. Walls so high, no army could climb them. Gates so strong, no force could break them. A river flowing through its heart, protecting it from every side. For generations, no one dared to conquer it. But one man didn't see a fortress. He saw a weakness. And instead of attacking Babylon, he rewrote the rules of war. Babylon stood at the center of power in the ancient world. Built along the Euphrates River, it was designed not just to survive war, but to make war impossible. Massive double walls surrounded the city, towering structures wide enough for chariots to move across. Watchtowers lined the defenses. Heavy gates sealed every entry point. Inside, thousands of soldiers stood ready. And beyond the walls, the Euphrates flowed directly through the city, providing water, protection, and a natural barrier no army could easily cross. But Babylon had something even stronger than walls: confidence. With vast food reserves and secure defenses, the city could survive for months, even years. Any army that tried to take it would face only two outcomes: failure or exhaustion. When arrived with his forces, he didn't see an easy victory. He saw a problem, a direct assault. Suicide. The walls would hold. The gates would never break. A siege? Pointless. Babylon could outlast any army outside its walls. And worst of all, the people inside felt safe. There was no fear, no urgency, no weakness. Babylon wasn't just protected by stone, it was protected by belief. And as long as that belief remained, the city could not be conquered. But Cyrus didn't think like other kings. He didn't rush. He didn't attack blindly. He watched. He studied the walls, the gates, the rhythm of the city. And then he saw it, the Euphrates River. It flowed under the walls, through the heart of Babylon, a source of life, but also an opening. Where others saw protection, Cyrus saw opportunity. He understood something most commanders never do. You don't defeat a fortress by attacking its strength. You defeat it by changing the battlefield itself. So instead of preparing for war, Cyrus began preparing something far more dangerous: a plan. The operation began in silence. First, Cyrus divided his army. One force moved upstream along the Euphrates. Another remained ready, waiting for the signal. Then came the impossible task. Using engineering, labor, and precise coordination, they began to divert the river. Slowly, steadily, the water level began to fall. Not enough to be noticed at first, but enough to change everything. Cyrus didn't rush. He waited. Hour by hour, the river weakened, until finally, it was shallow enough to cross. And then, under the cover of night, he made his move. Persian soldiers entered the riverbed. Step by step, silently, they moved toward the city walls. Not over them, not through the gates, but beneath them. They passed under Babylon's defenses, through the very river that was meant to protect it. Inside the city, there was no alarm, no warning, no resistance. By the time Babylon realized what was happening, the enemy was already within. The fall of Babylon was not a violent explosion of war. It was something far more terrifying. It was silent. A city that believed itself invincible collapsed without a fight. Its defenses useless, its confidence shattered. And just like that, Babylon was no longer the strongest power in the world. Persia was. What achieved was more than a victory. It was a new kind of warfare, one where intelligence defeated strength, where strategy replaced brute force, and where the impossible became reality. But this was only the beginning, because the empire Cyrus built would soon face enemies that refused to fall, empires that would fight back, empires that would change the course of history. If you want to see the wars that came next, the battles that shook the ancient world, then make sure you subscribe, because this story is just getting started.